and all of the problems and confusions, the things you think you don't know yet about the world, because of your conceptualization of time as this boxed up linear sequence of past, present, and future. Because you do that, you have to all of a sudden explain how something becomes, how do beings become what they are in time, in this sequence. I mean, and is an endless struggle, because beings themselves are ever present as well. They're extensions through time. You know, you ask the question, is everything predetermined, or do we have free will? And it's easy to say everything is predetermined, because the past causes the present, and the present causes the future. But the thing is, you're not stuck in the present. So the whole free will determinism dichotomy disappears, because time is ever present. The past and the future are present now. Otherwise you wouldn't know what the hell you were talking about when you thought of the past or the future. And so back to Alan Wallace, what he was trying to show was that a paradigm shift in the mind sciences was going to give us a new understanding of, well, not only what the mind is, but what the whole world is. Because like I said before, quantum physics is also the most material and mathematical and, you know, hard of all the sciences. Is forced to become aware of consciousness, because people are becoming aware of consciousness. There's a shift occurring, and all the sciences will be affected by it. In a sense, Alan Wallace is kind of on the front lines of this development, because he's directly engaging the rationalists and materialists, the objectivists, the naturalists, and saying, look, there's something else going on here. There are paradigm shifts, complete changes in the structure of reality, and science, empirical observation, is what's going to reveal it. But we have to empirically observe the mind. And when you start to do that, the mind changes. Because again, there's no separation, there's no observer to observe consciousness. And that's why it's a paradigm shift, because all of a sudden we realize that the experimenter and the experiment and the result of the experiment are so connected that to suppose that you know, one is causing the other, that one is objective and that one is an injunction, they're too connected for that to actually be the case. And so an empirical observation of consciousness develops consciousness, and all of a sudden we're aware of the world in a new way. And that's why Alan Wallace talks about Buddhism, because as soon as you start to study the mind, you start to develop the mind. Because in essence, studying the mind requires that you develop your mind. You have to learn a technique of measuring the mind, of inquiring into the phenomenon. Just like Galileo needed a telescope, and Francis and Crick needed a microscope to see DNA, and all of science really has progressed over the last few hundred years because of the addition of technological measuring devices or observing devices that extend our senses. So in a sense, we need to extend the mind, not by building an external technological object, but by developing a technique of inner thought, of phenomenological conceptualization. It's like a metacognition, but not only metacognition, thinking about thinking, but thinking about thinking about thinking about thinking, but not like just that many recursions, but an infinite number of recursions, such that you can transparently see through thought itself. You don't think about a thought and have that continual loop. You see the loop itself, and all of a sudden you're kind of set free.